Hi there, everyone. Thanks very much for your patience whilst we waited to get started with today's webinar. My name's Mark, and I'm a member of the Learning Services team here at Sage, and I will be taking you through today's session, which is looking at Accounting Start, and we're looking at an introduction to the software itself. So today's webinar will last around 1 hour. Now, pretty much everyone that I was expecting is in attendance. There's a couple more people that I was expecting to log in. So we will make a start and hopefully they'll log in whilst I'm just going through the introduction and a couple of housekeeping points that I want to make sure everybody knows. So I have muted everyone's lines just to stop any background noise or interference that can sometimes happen in a group meeting scenario such as this. However, that doesn't mean that you can't interact or ask questions. So to do that, simply submit your questions, please, using the Q&A panel in your GoToWebinar window. Now, I am on my own today, but I will try and keep an eye on the questions, and I'll definitely look at those in depth at the end of today's session. And if there's anything that needs answering straight away, I'll go through those then. So you will also receive a link tomorrow with a recording of today's session. And please note, I have included a couple of PDFs for you to download if you want to. And those you can use. There's two versions of the PDF that I've included. One has all the links live, so you can click on any links such as the Help Center and they'll work in there. And one I've actually converted to grayscale, so it's printer friendly. So should you want to print that off, you can do so. So let's have a look at today's agenda. So in this webinar, I'm going to take you through the setup and we'll have a demo of Sage Accounting Start and we'll look at a number of its key features. And in the demonstration, I'm going to show you some of the different features available that'll help you save some time and help take away some of the complexity out of your admin so you can focus more on running your day-to-day business. So I'll start off by showing you how to access accounting and how to log in. I'll then move onto some real-time demos in the software and show you things like customizing your invoices and how to set up your contacts, which is your customers and suppliers. We'll then look at the banking section, so how to record money that you're getting paid and record your expenses. And we'll also have a look at bank feeds, which is a popular feature which integrates your bank account or credit card with your accounting software. Then we'll pick up on reporting and also we'll look at the VAT return. I'll show you how to add your accountant if you wish to do so, to give them access to your data and collaborate through the software. And finally, we'll have a look at the mobile app. So as you can see, we've got a lot to get through today. And like I said, it should take about an hour. So we'll, before I get to the Q&A section, so let's make a start because we've got a packed agenda for you today. So let's look firstly at how to log in and how to access the software itself. So because Sage Accounting Start is one of our true native cloud software, it gives you the ability to work anywhere on any device where you've got your data stored, basically. Now we have that data stored as well safely and securely online. So there's no backup, no updating required, and you're always on the latest version, the latest release automatically. So you can simply bookmark your preferred login page, or you can do what I've done here, which is I've simply gone to sage.com. You can see that in my browser window at the top here, and then click on login. So I'm just going to choose the software that we're going to log into, which is the Business Cloud accounting software. If you click on login, it will normally take you to enter your email address and password. But as I've already logged in about half an hour ago, I would say it's dropped me straight into my software. into my home screen. So I'm just going to go and get my summary screen ready to show you. So please remember to tick the Remember Me box when you do log in, and that's to reduce the number of times sign-in is needed on the same device. So when we do first log in, we're presented with our summary screen, which is what you can see here. And this gives us a snapshot of how the business is performing. And we've got some quick links to processes such as recording money in with an add button there to add that money in. And the same for money out with an add button to take you to the money out screen. The software is very easy to navigate around. And Accounting Start has a main navigation menu across the top here. And in today's webinar, we'll be accessing quite a few of these options. There's also loads of help available for you as you navigate around the application. You'll notice these small question marks next to the main navigation headings all over the software, and they will take you to the help articles relevant to the section of the software that you're in. So if I'd clicked on there, it will take me to the help articles for this summary screen. The other option is to access the Help Center itself. So if I go to the top right, here at the top here, I can scroll down just one section to the Help Center, and this icon here means that the Help Center will open in a completely different tab. So I have clicked on it here, and here it is. I've got the Help Center open, and here you can actually do keyword searches straight away, or scroll down to use the support hubs and navigate through to the help that's available. You can view all the support hubs here. And at the top here, if you click on Contact Us, this will give you the options that you have available for getting in touch with our support teams. So you can see here, there's a live web chat available, and you can even speak to a live technician between 8 AM and 8 PM. There's both online chat and telephone options for you. Now, please remember also, you can access Sage Accounting Start on your mobile device or tablet. It's very easy to download and install the app. And then you just simply log in using the same email address and password, and then create invoices on the go, for example, and enter your expenses, as well as accessing all your data. But I'm going to show you that in more depth later on today. So let's look at the software now. I'm going to start by customizing the software to your business, meaning that right from the start, documents that you create look bespoke and professional for your actual business. So let's look at customizing your invoices. So you can select one of the two templates that are available in the software for invoices or any other of documents that you want to actually produce. If we navigate to More at the top navigation bar, and then scroll down and choose Business Settings, we can then scroll down and choose Templates and Logos. So you can see here we've got two templates to choose from, and simply choose the template that best suits your business. And you can then add a company logo, which I've already done here. And you can add up to 2 association logos as well. And then if we go to More, Business Settings again, and scroll down and choose this time Document Preferences, you can also scroll down and choose to add some customized terms and conditions. and add notes that will automatically appear on your sales invoices. Now, not only will this save you time, but it will create a much more professional look and feel. So if I go back to templates and logos, so business settings, templates and logos, it's really easy just to add a logo. All you need to do is click Add Logo and then scroll in your browser and choose the one that will be added for you. On the left here, you can see there's a little bit of information down the left-hand side giving you an idea of the file type and size to use, some guidelines for you there. But when you are happy with any changes you've made, you simply need to remember to scroll down to the bottom and always click Save to implement any changes. When you do that, you will receive and see this green confirmation bar appear just for a couple of seconds there, just to let you know that the changes have been made. The other area to quickly pick up on whilst we're in this section is invoice form settings. So in this section, it's worth noting that you can enter your next invoice number under prefixes and numbering. So if you are moving over from another piece of software, your invoices can continue seamlessly and sequentially by typing in the next invoice number. Scrolling down the page, we can see the terms and conditions area where you can enter any information that you want to appear on your invoices. And you've also got a notes section. So in this case, you can see we've added some bank account details, making it easy for our customers to pay us online. And anything that you put in here will automatically be included on your invoices as you generate them. Again, if and when you make any changes, please remember to scroll down and click Save. When you do that, you will see the green confirmation when you have made any changes. I can also click Preview, and I can preview this document and make sure that it's looking exactly how I want it to before I actually email it out, if you do want to do that. Great, so the next section I want to show you is contacts. So in contacts, in other words, we're going to set up records for your customers and your suppliers. Before you start entering them in the software, you will need to set up your contact records. So you don't have to set up your contact records in advance. You can set them up and add them as you need them on the fly. So don't think, please, when you start using the software that you need to sit and key in all of your records up front one by one. It's very easy to add records into your software, and you have two options available to do this. So you can add them individually by simply clicking on New Customer or New Supplier. But if you've ever used any accounting software before that, you will have the option, and you can add and import customers and suppliers as well. So if you are using existing software, if you can export that information into the likes of Excel from your previous software, then potentially you can import that information into Accounting Start. If you're wanting to use the import option, all you need to do is access the new customer and then import customers from the drop-down. You will get this pop-up window, and from here you can download the import template. Now, if I open this, it's going to open up, I've got a couple of screens, there we go. And you can also access further information. If I close that down, you can access further information and guidance from within the Help Center by clicking this help file here. So if you do need further assistance manipulating your data, this is where you'll find it. Adding records individually, however, couldn't be easier. So let's say, for example, we want to add a customer. Simply click New Customer, and now we'll be prompted to add in the asterisk fields as a minimum. So that's the same across the whole of Accounting Start. Wherever you have an asterisk field, it must be entered as a minimum. If I try to click Save, it won't let me save in this record without at least entering a business name. So that's either going to be the company name, or if it's an individual, it'll be the person's name. And you can then add the rest of their contact details as well if you have that to hand. So you've also got a number of tabs, things like contact details for recording addresses, etc. You've also got payment details. And you've also got payment details, you can add any credit terms in here. You've also got notes section for recording any notes that you might want to, that might apply to this customer. Again, when you are happy with all the information you've entered, just click Save, and then it will be added to your contact list. Now, if we go into an existing customer record, here we have an existing customer record called Kemmer & Sons. It'll bring up the customer record. We can see here the highlighted boxes at the top of this record. The first one shows a summary of the customer's current credit position. Then the second is a summary of their current sales position. And then also on the right here, we've got some contact details. Further down, we can see some more tabs available. Firstly, we've got the activity tab, which will show you a full transactional history for this customer between the from and to dates that we type in here. So those date ranges that you can change if required and then recalculate the data. You can also change the other information in these tabs by clicking the edit icon at any time. So if I go into contacts, wherever you see this small pen icon, it is indeed an edit icon. If I click on it, I can click in and make changes and edit this record. And then obviously don't forget when you've made any changes to click Save. So I would like to point out that there is no limit on the number of records you can save into the system. And the next section that we're going to look at is invoicing your customers. So invoicing customers couldn't be simpler to do in Sage Accounting Start. To do this, simply select Sales from the top navigation bar. And this will bring up a list of invoices that you've already entered. And again, you have a number of tabs to analyze your invoices. So all will be selected by default, but as you can see, you can choose to view what's outstanding, if there are any, overdue. You can also see what's been paid and any invoices that are currently in the status of draft. To add a new invoice, simply click on New Invoice. And the first thing you're prompted to do is to choose your customer. So you can see here that I can choose an existing customer, but from the drop down, you can actually add in a customer out on the go, on the fly, or you can search by starting to type in the customer name and that will come up for you. But I'm going to choose an existing customer. And as you can see here, it pulls through the invoice address automatically. But you can go in and amend this by if I click on the edit icon. You've also got the invoice date and a reference field, which is optional. The asterisk fields, like I said, are, however, mandatory. We then come into the main body of the invoice where we need to enter in the description of what it is we've actually sold. So we've typed some basic details in here. I'm just going to put service charge. We can then select the category. So if we wanted to analyze our sales or post to a particular nominal category, which is what this is, we can do that by selecting the category from the drop-down. You can set up your own ledger accounts as well, and you'll find more information about setting up those categories within the Help Center. But right now, we'll just leave it set to 4,000 sales. And then we can click into price or rate. Let's put that to £100. And then we can choose the VAT rate. So that's the rate of VAT that we want to charge on this particular line of this invoice. You can specify different rates on different lines if required, but in this case, we'll leave it on the standard rate, 20%. And in this case, it will calculate the VAT automatically for you. If you do need to split out or list the parts, say, of this invoice individually, you can further down add in your totals, add in your lines to this invoice, and then further down, we'll see the invoice totals as you would expect. We can see here we've also got notes that are added in the setup page and the terms and conditions, which was set up at our invoicing customization. This information is pulled through automatically, so we don't need to sit keying it in every time. However, we can click into these boxes and amend it if required. We can preview the invoice if we like. And when we're happy with that, you can print or email at any time and change any existing customizations by clicking on the Customize button. We can add in any supporting documentation, such as a receipt or a picture, using the paperclip icon. And using the drop down here, I can save it as a draft and save and add a new invoice straight away. But when I'm happy, simply click Save Invoice. And that is the invoice created in the system. It'll be updated to your accounts and reflected in your outstanding balance for this customer. So now we can see that the invoice has been created and we have a number of options. If we scroll down, we can now see that this email has been created. And this is the invoice timeline. We can see that the invoice has been created and the date it was created on, but it hasn't yet been sent, viewed, or marked as paid. So here are your invoice options. I can email, I can edit, so I can change this invoice in terms of the amount, the VAT rate, whatever I want to do. As long as it hasn't been put through a VAT return, it will be fully editable. As soon as you could put this invoice through a VAT return, that will be locked down in the system. I can copy, I can void it. So voiding this invoice won't remove it from the system. It will simply void it with a line through for audit purposes. I can print preview, share the link, add a credit note, or add a supporting file. So the majority of Sage Accounting Start users do email their invoices out. But if you do want to email, simply click Email. I can see I've got an email address in the customer record ready to go. I can change it before I send that though, but if I'm happy with that, just click send. Let's refresh this page so I can see the invoice timeline. And we can see here I've got a warning that's telling me that the invoice hasn't been sent for some reason. So in this case, that's a good thing to show you. It means that this email address is outstanding, this email address is old, or it's the wrong type of email that hasn't been set up correctly in the system. So I would need to go into the customer record, make sure that that information is correct, and email it again. It's a good warning there that'll stop you thinking you've emailed invoices if they haven't reached the sender. So I can record payment, and I can even turn on card payments. So card payments, if you have a Stripe account, we have partnered with Stripe. Again, some information there if you want to use the Help Center for Stripe. But if you've got a Stripe account, I can sign in or create a Stripe account straight from this page, and that will enable my invoices to have a Pay Now button on them that will allow my customers in turn to enter their card details and pay immediately online. Again, if you want any information on Stripe, simply use the Help Center in product. I can also record full or part payment straight from the record payment screen. All I need to do is put the amount that's been received, any discount that I've included, the payment date, and here I need to enter in the bank account that's being paid into and the method of payment. And here I'm going to record a full payment. And again, let's refresh the screen. Now I can see that the invoice was being created and paid, all from the invoice timeline. So we can access any invoices by clicking on Sales and then choose your invoice from the drop-down list. And again, you have all the options to email, edit, print, add a credit note, file, or void. So that's how easy it is to create invoices and record a payment against them. So the next area we're going to look at is banking and bank feeds. So the banking area is what you're going to use when you're going to record money going in and money coming out of your business. From the top menu, if we click on banking, come into your banking area here, again, you'll have your Help Center icon, which will take you straight to the Help Center articles on banking, any help that you might need. And you can see here we've got two bank accounts preset for you. One called bank account and one called cash. You can have as many bank accounts as you like, and you can create new ones simply by going to New, scrolling down, and click on Bank Account from the drop-down menu. And complete the quick setup wizard that will guide you through setting up your bank account. You just need to enter the account type, whether it's current, savings, credit, cash in hand, loan, or other, and put in the account name. So there are a number of ways of recording money coming in and out of your business. So we've already looked at sales and shown how payments can come in against our sales invoices and how easy it is to record that. But what about recording daily takings or income that you haven't invoiced, for example? So if we use New and go to Money In, which can, for example, you can actually access that from your summary screen. I don't know whether you can remember from summary. Let's just go to that and show you quickly. I've got money in and money out, and that will take you to the exact same screens. So if we go back to banking, go to new and go to money in. This is your money in screen. And now we can choose a customer if required. That is optional. But in this case, we want to record our daily takings. So I'm going to leave this field empty. And then we're going to choose which account we want to record the money being paid into. So I'm going to choose my standard current account, which is our main bank account in this case. And then we can choose our method. So let's choose the cash option for this example. And then we've got the date that it's been received. Obviously, you can amend this. You can backdate it if you wish. And this gives you the flexibility of putting in even a future date if you can see that far ahead. We can put a reference in if needed. Let's just put sales. And we're going to key the amount in. Let's put 250 in this case. And then again, we need to specify a category. So we need to categorize this transaction so that in the background, the software can do all of our adding up for us. So from the drop-down menu, I'm just going to choose one of my sales accounts. But you can rename these categories if required, like I said, and then in details, I'm just going to type daily takings. And the net amount has already been calculated for us. And we have the VAT rate already specified. So if the net and the VAT has already been worked out for us from the 250 we keyed in earlier, we can of course amend that if required. So if we had a mixture of standard VAT rate sales and some that were zero rated, for example, we'd need to break that down into a second and possibly third or fourth line of invoices to amending the values if required. So it's just a case of breaking down the 250, but for this example, we're going to keep things nice and simple. And if we scroll down, we can see our totals. We can, of course, attach an image. So if there's any supporting documentation or a photograph, use the paperclip icon you see here, and then upload the files. Once we're happy with everything, we're ready to click Save. We will get the confirmation bar pop up. Here we go at the bottom there. So that's how easy it is to record transactions such as your daily takings. So now we're returned back to the cashbook screen, and we can see that the transaction is listed for us on this page. If you've made a mistake, it's really easy to amend that in Accounting Start. Simply choose the transaction by clicking on it. So maybe we've noticed an error such as the wrong date. We can make all the necessary changes and again scroll down and click Save when you've made those changes. And this will be possible until this transaction is included in a VAT return if you are VAT registered and completing that VAT return. And in that case, it will be locked down. So now recording our expenses and other money going out of the business can be done in a few different ways as well. If we go to banking, for example, we can choose from the new and then record money going out. Or again, we can use a summary page and then click Add on the money out tile. Either option will take us to the same money out screen to record money out. So again, here we can specify a supplier if we want to, or add that in as we go. If you want to link this transaction to a supplier. But let's say in this example, we've bought some fuel and we want to record that. And we want to record the fact that we've incurred the expense. So we're going to choose the bank account that we're going to pay the money out of. So let's again choose our current account. This time we're going to say that we've used our debit card, then choose the date. So I could be entering all my expenses at the end of the week, for example, and need to change this to the specific correct day. Or if you want to do your accounts, the system will suit your needs. If you want to do it every day or once a week or even once a month, that's up to you. In the reference, I'm just going to put petrol. But then we might be putting a filing reference if required. Again, we need to categorize this transaction. I'm just going to put the amount of £50, and then we need to categorize this transaction. So if you're unsure, don't worry. You can, as I've shown, correct any mistakes, but in this case, we'll just put vehicle fuel, and then in details, we'll put, again, whatever you like. We're just going to put petrol. But we can now see from the £50 that we entered and the amount paid, it's already picked up the standard VAT rate. So it's calculated this for you. It's calculated the net and the VAT amounts. So again, if we needed to split this £50 between a number of different category types, for example, if you spent £45 on fuel and £5 on something else, you may want to break this transaction down further into separate lines with separate VAT rates. So again, if that was the case, we'd do that into multiple lines, which you can easily do if required. And then when you're happy, you can add in any supporting documentation. And again, click Save. We'll get the green confirmation bar. And that's how to record your money going out or your expenses. So now we're going to have a quick look at bank feeds. So bank feeds are basically a way of integrating your online bank accounts or credit cards with your accounting software. So rather than you sitting entering everything from scratch by integrating it, it'll make the process a lot quicker by pulling through your transactions. It's estimated that you can actually save an amount of time you spend on manual entry by as much as 80% by using an automated bank feed. So I've already set one up. In Actions, mine will say Disconnect Bank, but yours would say Connect Bank. And the Bank Feed Support Hub will help you connect your bank feed or import a bank statement. When you are ready, simply go to Actions and click Connect Bank, and then you'll need to enter your online banking credentials. Once connected, you will see how many transactions need your attention since your last login. Mine is saying 198 here. So if I click on the bank feed itself, you can now set up bank rules to manage your regular bills or payments. So this has just come up. This is my bank feed. And again, like I just said, you can set up bank rules that will actually rule out any regular bills or regular bills or standing orders that are the same month in, month out. You can set those up that they get pulled from your bank feed and get posted automatically. You can automatically find any matching transactions from your outstanding invoices and match those off. And from all of these, you will always be able to, like this example, you can always create a rule. If this is going to be a regular amount out, you can create a rule from this. For the rest of the transactions, you can simply match, create, or transfer. So let's do one of each. So let's create a match. So if I can't see my match, my transaction that I wanted to match against this amount, £66.23, let's say I forgot, I can actually add this in on the fly. It's that easy to do. So I can add it in and then match it off. Let's create this transaction. So we're just creating it from scratch. We're putting what it is. It's a property cost. And again, here I can split this transaction out if I want to categorize different areas. So let's cancel that split and create it. And lastly, let's do a transfer. And transfer is if I'm actually going to send this amount to a completely different bank account. I've got the other account I've got is a cash account. Let's move this money out to my cash account. So you would just work your way through or set up bank rules. And once you've done that, we go back to banking, go into the bank account. I can now click on reconcile. And this is your bank reconciliation. Now in your bank reconciliation, this is where you would enter your statement end balance. And here you can see the transactions that I've taken through the bank feed are marked as cleared, they're marked as paid or received, and they're marked as reconciled. I can reconcile all or unreconcile all, and when I'm happy, I would just click finish, which I'm not going to do because I will have a target balance mismatch. But once I'd entered in my statement end balance and I ticked those off my statement, then obviously my two balances would match and they'd be reconciled and I could click finish. And then I would tick finish and confirm when I'm happy. So the next section we're going to look at is reporting. So reporting is a key part of any accounting software. And in Accounting Start, you can easily see how your business is performing in just a few clicks. If you click on Reports, you have access to the full list of reports available. Now, these are your standard out-of-the-box date range filterable reports, and it includes your profit and loss, both standard and customizable, your balance sheet, both standard and customizable, and your trial balance, both standard and customizable. For each report, you can change and customize the date range and recalculate the report. So if I go into my P&L, for example, I can change the period to custom, change the from and to date range and recalculate. On the right-hand side, I can use on every report, I can use the export function to export to CSV or PDF. So if you want to do further analysis, then in Excel, for example, you can do so, or you can export to PDF. Again, you can do this with all the reports, and if you wanted to save the report and download it and print it, you can do so. You can also click into any line in your reports and it will take you directly to, in this example, the sales invoice screen that make up this line in the report. So it drills right the way down to the data entry screen. If we go back to the reports section, we can see that the other reports include aged debtors, meaning that you can see a list of customers, their outstanding balances, and also how long the balance has been outstanding for. And you can easily drill down from this screen to see the individual transactions themselves. Again, right the way to the invoice screen, to the data entry screen. Then on the report screen again, we have the category activity and the audit trail reports, which enable you to see what transactions you've entered and when you have entered them. And if you are VAT registered, if I scroll down and click on VAT return, you'll see that you are fully compliant for MTD purposes. It's very easy to generate your VAT return. If you are VAT registered, just need to click on create VAT return, and then you'll need to register with HMRC. Once you've done that, you will need to add in your HMRC authentication. And that will allow you to calculate your VAT return and submit it online to the HMRC through the online portal. Come out of that. You can see here I have got my VAT return ready to go, but I haven't entered in my authentication on the HMRC website, so I would need to submit this a different way. Also, I just want to touch on adding your accountant. So if you like to leave certain tasks to your accountant, such as posting adjustments or running VAT returns, like I've just shown you, then it's really easy to collaborate with your accountant. If your accountant uses, say, for example, Sage for Accountants, you can give them access with a simple invitation email. So to do this in your software, if you just click on your company name and then go to Manage Business Account, and then from the business management area, when this comes up, 2 seconds. From the Manage Business Account area, if we select Invite an Advisor, then you can enter your accountant's email address and then click Send. Enter their email address that they've provided you with, send invitation there. It's that easy. Or if they've supplied you with an advisor ID, then you can invite them that way as well. So it can go from your invitation or them, whichever way. So it's worth mentioning at this point that Sage Accounting does support single user only. But if you do want to give your colleagues access so that they can access your accounts from their PC, their tablet, or their mobile, then you can upgrade your subscription to Accounting Standard or Accounting Plus. Of course, you would also gain the additional features within the software. And both of these levels of software support unlimited additional users. And you can upgrade at any time, and you can do this within your software by, again, clicking on More, and then going to Subscriptions, Manage Subscriptions. And now you can upgrade to either Accounting Standard or Accounting Plus. You can also add on payroll if you wish. Great, so I do want to also cover off the mobile app. So that's available for you to use as part of your Accounting Start subscription. And that's available on both iPhone and Android app stores. So the app makes it possible for you to create invoices, send quotes, check balances, and record transactions all from your mobile device wherever you are. And once you've installed it on your phone, you simply log in with the same email address and password you set up with your main account. So your mobile app will sync with your Accounting Start web application in real time. So when you next log in to your software, you'll see the updated view automatically. So I've actually included a couple of QR codes on this slide, one for iOS and one for Android, should you need to actually get a quick link to download the apps simply use one of your phone's camera to follow the link and install the software. So let's look at further support available to you whilst using the Accounting Start app. So I wanted to take this opportunity to draw your attention to the Help Centre, which I have mentioned a few times through the actual webinar. So Sage Accounting Start, if you need any further support, as well as being able to access your keyword searches in our help articles or use the support hubs, please use the Help Centre. The Help Centre is always available by clicking on the help icon at the top right of your screen wherever you are in the software, or clicking on the small question marks, or I've actually included a link there for you, which is available in your handouts. Right, I did just want to cover off MTD, Making Tax Digital, which is going to become more and more important as we go through the next few months and years. So it is important to realise that you are already compliant for MTD if you are registered for VAT, and you are also compliant in terms of keeping digital records simply by using Accounting Start, which you're doing. So in December 2022, the government announced a phased approach to MTD for income tax self-assessment from April 2026. So this will begin with self-employed individuals and landlords with income over £50,000. And then a year later, in April 2027, this will roll out to those with an income between 30,000 and 50,000. So who will need to use self-assessment? So if you're a sole trader earning more than £1,000 a year before expenses, or you're a UK property owner, typically with an income from property rental above £2,500 per year before expenses, or over £7,500 per year if you're signed up for the Rent a Room scheme. If you're a partner in a business partnership, regardless of whether you're the nominated partner. So you will notice that if you do need the functionality to make submissions for income tax, you will always be, it'll be made available for you well before it's mandated, and for those who need it before April the next tax year. There will always be more up-to-date information on our website, as well as articles and webinars when needed. Great, so that's the main part of today's webinar over. It is, 2:55, so that's quite on time. So I just want to look at any questions that have come up today. Please use the Q&A panel in the go-to sidebar if you haven't already done so. And also please note, like I said, I've included 2 sets of slides today for you to download. One will have all the links embedded for you to use, and the other is optimized for printing, again, should you wish to do that. So I'm going to see how the questions have been coming through. I'm going to answer those now. I will come back with any questions that I feel are valuable. I am going to go on mute for a couple of minutes. So just a reminder, you will receive a follow-up email tomorrow, which includes links to register for future webinars and to watch recordings. There's no questions that I've unanswered. Everything's now gone through, so the questions weren't quite few, so hopefully that's because I've answered everything as I've gone through today's webinar. So I will keep the chat and the question panels open for a few more minutes whilst I answer any other questions. However, I will stop the broadcast for now. So hopefully I will speak to you in the next of our series of webinars on Sage Accounting. But thanks very much, and bye for now.